Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. Got us the 05 Nissan. It's the Altima. It's the 2.5 SL. And the guy tells me he's got oil on his pistons. What that means is he took it into a shop, apparently because he's got this misfire problem that it does have on the #1 cylinder. And they told him that he has oil on his pistons, at least on the #1 piston. And they put spark plugs in it, and here we are. At any rate, what they mean is his spark plug tube seals are leaking. So this was in the other day. I pulled that coil out so I can have a look at it, and indeed there was oil saturation all over it. So he gave us permission to fix it amongst other things he wants done. I thought I'd bring you guys along when we fix his oily pistons and see if this ignition coil is any good. When I drove it in the other day, it was not misfiring. However, it sat outside for a little bit here, 2 or 3 days while we were waiting on parts, and it is now misfiring. So perhaps that's a result of the old oil on the piston. So we'll take and unplug these. Now, in my limited research, I did not see spark plug tubes offered for sale on the old Nissan, and I think I've been down this road before. I did call the Nissan dealer, and they did agree that they do not offer the spark plug tube seals, nor did the aftermarket valve cover gasket kits. They did not come with tube seals, so you're required to buy the entire valve cover. How ridiculous is that? Number 4 is dry. Number 3 is dry. Number 2 is dry. Number 1, wet piston. The coil's pretty saturated with oil, as you can see. And rest assured though, it is not a bad piston. So what we're gonna do, I guess before we tear this apart, I did buy a valve cover for it. We'll have to open up that box, see what it looks like. Let's just wire up. There's a hose in the back, must be a PCV, I'm assuming. Goes right to the intake manifold. Looks easy peasy to do. And then we've got the fresh air side of the PCV positive crankcase ventilation. Let's have a look at the new valve cover. Here we go. Ordered it from Napper. Ultra 8, it's class 8580721 valve cover. Let's have a gander here before we get too deep. My Nissan guy couldn't get it for a while, so we went this route. Probably the same stuff. Not the same stuff. It doesn't say Nissan on it. The part that baffles me is, obviously somebody makes the valve cover. Therefore, obviously somebody makes the tube seals to put in said valve cover. It did come with a gasket in it. Hopefully we're not going to get burned with this jobby. Loose. That hose seems to be a bit of a stiffy. We're gonna have to be careful with some of this stuff. We will take them bolts loose right there. That gives us a little more room to get to the hose. Wiggle that clamp back if we can. That hose is unhooked. Goody goody. That hose is unhooked. Grab the ugly duggy gun. I think that's here, buddy. Go get a magnet. Because we don't want to drop these down the hole or anywhere else. Sounds like Josh is having way more fun than we are. All right, there's that. So these are all shouldered bolts. All appear to be the same. And now we need to crack the valve cover loose if it's not loose already, which it isn't. Use a lady's foot, give her a little pry. Stick that in her pocket. And there we are. So there's that. Yeehaw. Now it's just a matter of making sure it's clean. I'm going to use the classic carbide scraper here. We're just going to come across it. Make sure everything's cool. This is has a little recess here. I would have thought that was machined on the same plane, but it is not. Has some numbers on it too. Interesting. There is little dabs of silicone here in the corners, you can see. Silicone starts here, comes around, probably when they do the timing cover, I imagine. So we'll put a little drop of silicone in the corners also. It's kind of common practice, you'll see. Try to keep the junk out of the engine. Thing's pretty clean. Now this is all cleaned out, brake cleaned. We're gonna put just a dab of some ultra gray here in the corner. Just to be 100% certain. And do it on the back side also. It's pretty common practice you'll see on, this style valve cover or any time there's two machine surfaces coming together. They'll often have the recommendation of putting a little silicone there. And then on the tube seals that you apparently can't get, we're going to put a little silicone on that. The different type though, some super lube, some slippery silicone. Just that way there they slip over the tubes nice and easy. We're not fighting that at all. There, we should be in good shape now. It's like KY for cars. Knock it off there. I'm going to get a couple bolts started here. Now that I have them started, we're just going to kind of work our way around. Start drawing it down and letting the seals expand over top of those spark plug tubes. That's it, baby. So we'll stick the oil cap back on. And then I had to get this little guy off the other valve cover. I didn't notice that. It's just for this wiring harness holder back here. It clicks into the valve cover. So we'll give it the classic reach around, click that into there, and then we'll take and stick the hose. We're trying to make a video.
Oh, I'm just trying to work,
so. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Oh, stand by. Stand by. Stand by. While I was answering your very lovely Mrs. O's questions, I hooked up that PCV hose on the backside there. And then we'll snug them up. Now those valve cover bolts, those are shouldered bolts, so you can't really over tighten them. I take that back. You can over tighten them in the sense you can tighten them down until they break. You can't really over tighten them in the sense that you can over tighten the gasket. Because the bolt only goes so tight and then it stops. And then you keep turning and then it breaks. So don't turn it till it snaps, I guess is what I'm getting at. That's all I wanted to say. Make sure our silicone smushed out, and it did. So now we have to clean out the hole down there. We have to get the oil and garbage out of it. Just mostly oil, no real garbage. And then we have to clean off this coil to make sure it's not just arcing across the oil. You know, that's a pretty good conductor. So we'll have to get this baby sprayed off. The rubber boot, yeah, I was gonna say the rubber boot should come off it. So we'll get all the oil and crap cleaned out of this. And hopefully this coil's still good. If not, we'll have to, you know, put a new coil on it. We'll take our known good coils. We'll stick them back in there. Put a little dielectric grease in the bottom of them. Keep them from getting stuck on there. And hopefully insulate. And keep all the electrons where they need to be. And then we'll just take our other coil here. I got it cleaned out. We'll put that back together. This had a lot of oil in it. It was jammed in there pretty good, so. Yes, hit the floor. Oh, you guys might not be able to see anything, but they do, you just pop them apart. I just popped it apart, took all the rubbers off it, and then cleaned it in our eco-friendly parts washer, which is basically just soap and water. Soap and water, soap and water. Some kind of Arm & Hammer stuff. I don't know, they charge you $300 every 3 months. $100 a month it costs me to keep my parts washer. Does not include heating it the entire time. What a joke. They do it because it's eco-friendly. And it's the law here in the PRNY. We can no longer have high VOC parts washers because polar bears are dying. However, since we've gotten rid of our petroleum-based parts washer, and now they only offer us silicone-based or aqueous, water-based. So since they've done that, we now go through like 13 more cases of brake cleaner per month. So I don't know if it really helped anything. It just made it more of a pain in the ass. But that's just my thoughts on it. Okay, let's see if this thing runs now without skipping, or if we're gonna need a new ignition coil. Stand by. Contact. Smooth as butter. There you have it, folks. Fix the oily piston. I guess it will be. And also fix his misfire, so that's good. Fortunately for this fella, the misfire seems to be coming just from that oil saturated coil, just causing spark outside the cylinder, we'll call it. Just not making it down the spark plug. And that's that, so piece of cake. we're able to get the valve cover here through Napper, who still doesn't sponsor us, and it comes with the spark plug tube seals. I don't know what the deal is with Nissan on these vintage engines, why you have to buy the whole stinking valve cover. I'm sure there is some source out there somewheres in the www.fixmynissan.com world that people know about, but here in the shop when we're buying our parts from, you know, brick and mortar stores, it's hard to, you know, spend all day looking on the eBay and stuff to try to come up with, you know, some solution here. But either way, it's fixed. We can stand behind it, give them our unlimited limited warranties, and that's that. And I don't even have a transition there, but go in that comment section, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know what to do. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.